Stress is an inevitable part of life. No one can escape pressure, challenges, or moments of losing control. But why do some people crumble, while others remain steadfast? The difference lies not in circumstances, but in how we respond. Stoicism does not promise a life free of stress. Rather, it teaches us to master our thoughts, transform adversity into fuel, and grow stronger each day. Today, we will explore 7 Stoic techniques to help you face stress with composure and take control of your life immediately. 1. Focus only on what you can control. There is a truth we must accept. Most events in life are beyond our control, from the weather to gas prices rising or falling, to the thoughts and actions of others. None of these things bend to our will, yet many people spend their entire lives worrying about what they cannot change. They obsess over how others perceive them, dwell on past mistakes, and fear an uncertain future. And the result? They trap themselves in a cycle of stress, disappointment, and helplessness. But what if we approached life differently? A perspective Stoicism has taught for thousands of years. We could free ourselves from unnecessary anxiety and focus on what truly matters. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic philosophers, once said, "Some things are up to us, and some things are not." What does this mean? It means that life consists of 2 kinds of elements: those within our control, such as our attitude, responses, choices, thoughts, and actions, and those outside our control, like other people's opinions, external outcomes, or even fate itself. Trying to control what is inherently uncontrollable leads only to frustration and suffering. But if we direct our energy toward what is within our power, we will find inner peace and strength. Imagine you are preparing for an important presentation. You've spent weeks practicing, reading every word, doing everything possible to ensure success. But on the day of the presentation, the projector malfunctions. Some audience members seem distracted, and someone even leaves in the middle of your talk. If you focus on these external disruptions, the broken projector, inattentive listeners, you will grow anxious, lose your comfort, and risk ruining your presentation. But if you choose to focus on what you can control, how you respond, how you continue delivering your message, you will maintain confidence and poise. This principle applies to every aspect of life. You cannot control the weather, but you can choose to carry an umbrella when it rains. You cannot prevent people from speaking ill of you, but you can control your reaction and refuse to let it affect your state of mind. The difference between a person who is stressed and a person who remains calm is not what happens to them. It is how they respond to it. Practicing this mindset will not only reduce your stress, but also make you stronger in the face of life's challenges. Try this simple exercise. Take a sheet of paper and divide it into 2 columns. On one side, list the things you can control. On the other, write down what you cannot. When you feel overwhelmed, refer to this list. If your worry falls under things I cannot control, remind yourself that stressing over it is a waste of energy. Instead, focus on the other column, the one where your actions truly matter. This is a simple principle, but if applied seriously, it will transform your life. No more wasted worries. No more frustration over things beyond your reach. Only self-mastery, tranquility, and the ability to concentrate on what truly counts. 2. See stress as an opportunity for growth. Most people view stress as an enemy, something to avoid or eliminate entirely from their lives. But in reality, stress itself is not the problem. It's how we perceive it that determines everything. If you see stress as a threat, it will overwhelm you. But if you recognize it as an opportunity for growth, You will emerge stronger after every challenge. This is not just a philosophical theory. It is a truth that has been proven over centuries. Marcus Aurelius, the great Roman emperor, and one of the most influential Stoic philosophers, once said, "The obstacle in the path becomes the path." In other words, the challenges you face in life are not barriers blocking your progress. They are the very tests that forge your strength. Imagine you are a marathon runner. If you only train on flat roads, you will never build endurance or resilience. But if your course is filled with steep hills, harsh weather, and countless obstacles, you will gradually become tougher, more capable with each step. Life works the same way. Stress and adversity are not signs that you are on the wrong path. They are indicators that you are evolving. Every hardship you overcome shapes you into a better version of yourself. Successful people are not those who never experience stress, but those who learn to harness it for growth. A practical way to apply this mindset is to change how you respond to pressure. Instead of complaining or avoiding it, ask yourself, what is this teaching me? If your job is overwhelming, perhaps it's an opportunity to improve time management and prioritization. If you fail at a project, it's not the end. It's a chance to analyze your mistakes and refine your skills. Even difficulties in relationships can teach patience, compassion, and emotional control. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "How can this help me grow?" One of the most effective ways to turn stress into strength is journaling. Spend a few minutes each day writing down what stressed you, how you reacted, and what lessons you can take from it. Over time, you'll realize that most of what once worried you no longer matters, and you've grown far stronger than your past self. This practice not only cultivates a resilient mindset, but also develops a habit of seeing adversity as a tool for self-improvement. Life will always bring unexpected challenges, but what truly matters is how we choose to perceive and respond to them. If you see stress as a roadblock, it will bring you down, but if you embrace it as part of your growth, you will learn to use it as a tool to sharpen your will and wisdom. Every day, we have the chance to turn stress into motivation, hardship into wisdom, and obstacles into stepping stones. No one can escape stress, but you can choose to transform it into your greatest strength. And when you do, nothing will stand in your way. 3. Practicing deliberate discomfort. We live in a world of convenience, where a single click brings anything to our doorstep, where winter's chill disappears at the push of a button, and where hunger vanishes within minutes thanks to fast food. Yet, this very ease has made us increasingly fragile in the face of adversity. Even the smallest discomfort can now unsettle us. A 15-minute traffic jam can send someone into a rage. A day without Wi-Fi can feel like being cut off from the world. And when life throws real challenges our way, those accustomed to constant comfort crumble under pressure. This is why Stoicism encourages us to practice deliberate discomfort, a method of strengthening the mind and will to become resilient in any situation. The philosopher Seneca would periodically live as a poor man, sleeping on a hard floor and eating the simplest meals, asking himself, "Is this what I feared?" By willingly exposing himself to hardship, even when unnecessary, he not only learned to live simply, but freed himself from the fear of scarcity. What does this mean for us today? It means we should not run from discomfort, but use it as a tool for mental training. Imagine you are a fighter training for a crucial match. If you only spar in ideal conditions against weaker opponents, you will never truly develop your skills. But if you push yourself into difficult scenarios, training in harsh conditions, facing stronger challengers, you will grow tougher, more prepared for anything that comes your way. How can we apply this practice in daily life? There are simple yet powerful ways to build resilience and mental toughness. Try intermittent fasting, not because you lack food, but to master your hunger and realize your body is stronger than you think. Take a cold shower in the morning, not because you have no hot water, but to train yourself to remain calm in discomfort. Turn off your phone for an entire day, not because you have nothing to do, but to confront your own thoughts without the constant distraction of social media or notifications. Go on a long hike without bringing water, or challenge yourself to live a day without any modern conveniences. Each time you do this, you are training your mind the way an athlete trains their body. Difficult at first, but over time, you will grow stronger. The key to practicing deliberate discomfort is understanding that we do not do this to punish ourselves, but to gain mastery over our reactions to hardship. When you can remain composed in discomfort, the unexpected no longer frightens you. A person accustomed to the cold does not freeze in winter. A person familiar with hunger does not panic when a meal is missed. A person comfortable with solitude does not feel lost without their phone. And when real challenges arise, losing a job, financial struggles, heartbreak, they will not break as easily as those who have never trained their willpower. Think back to the hardest moments of your life. At the time, they may have felt overwhelming, but in hindsight, they shaped you into a stronger person. Don't wait for life to force you into adversity. Step into it willingly. By practicing deliberate discomfort, you are not only preparing yourself for the future, but also cultivating an unshakable mindset. When the world changes, when uncertainty strikes, you will remain standing because you have trained yourself to grow stronger every day. 4. Pause before you react. In life, we often react instinctively without taking a moment to think. When someone insults us, we immediately feel anger. When faced with a stressful situation, we instantly panic or worry. These reactions are like an uncontrolled fire, consuming our reason and pushing us into a state of chaos. But what if we could pause for just a few seconds before responding? If we can control that brief moment, we can control our entire lives. This is what Stoicism teaches us, to pause before reacting, so we are not enslaved by fleeting emotions. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic emperors and philosophers, once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This means we cannot change what happens around us, but we can control how we respond. When someone yells at you, you can yell back, or you can remain calm. When you receive bad news, you can panic, or you can take a moment to think about your next step. The choice is entirely yours. And if you master that moment, you master yourself. But how do we actually do this? One of the most effective methods is practicing conscious pausing. When a stressful situation arises, instead of reacting immediately, take a deep breath. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, then exhale slowly for 6 seconds. This is not just a simple breathing exercise. It buys you time to think before you respond. In that short pause, you can ask yourself, do I really need to react right now? Or, will this response help me, or will it make things worse? These questions help you regain control instead of being ruled by emotion. A practical example is in arguments. When someone harshly criticizes you, your first instinct may be to retaliate. But if you pause for a few seconds, you give yourself the opportunity to consider a response that actually benefits you. Sometimes, silence is the most powerful answer. Sometimes, a calm and logical reply can de-escalate a tense situation instead of escalating it. Successful people are not those who never face conflict, but those who master their reactions to make wiser decisions. Pausing before reacting applies not just to conversations, but to everyday life. When you receive an email that makes you angry, instead of replying immediately, take a few minutes to reread it and consider whether a response is even necessary. When someone frustrates you on the road, instead of honking or losing your temper, ask yourself, will this still matter tomorrow? These small moments are opportunities to train yourself in the self-control and the imposure. Think about past moments when you reacted impulsively, letting emotions take over. Maybe it led to an unnecessary argument, a poor decision, or a regrettable action. But now, you have the chance to do things differently. Practice pausing before you react. Even just a few seconds can save you from negative situations, help you stay calm, and make better choice. Once you master this, you will no longer be carried away by emotions unconsciously. Instead, you will be the one steering your own path. 5. Negative visualization. We spend a great deal of time worrying about what might happen in the future, getting lost in fears that often have no basis in reality. We fear losing our jobs, failing, losing loved ones, or falling short of our aspirations. Yet the truth is that most of these fears exist only in our imagination. They paralyze us, fueling endless anxiety and robbing us of the joy of the present moment. Stoicism offers a way to take control of these fears instead of letting them control us. That method is negative visualization, a mental exercise that prepares us for all possible outcomes and strengthens our resilience in the face of life's uncertainties. Seneca, one of the great Stoic philosophers, once said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." This means that most of our worries do not stem from actual events, but from the narratives our minds construct. When we fear failure, it is not just the failure itself we dread, but the imagined consequence, judgment from others, loss of respect, feelings of sorrow or deprivation. But if we confront these fears head-on, accept the possibility that they may happen, and mentally rehearse how we would deal with them, we will often realize they are less frightening than we once believed. Negative visualization is not about pessimism or inviting misfortune. On the contrary, it is a way to internalize the truth that the world will not always conform to our desires, and that this is completely natural. Imagine losing your job tomorrow. What would happen? At first, there would be shock, perhaps uncertainty. But then what? You still have your skills, your experience, and time to find a new opportunity. You can adjust your expenses, learn new skills, and explore different paths. Suddenly, losing your job is no longer a catastrophe, but a challenge you are capable of overcoming. And if you don't lose your job tomorrow, you will appreciate it more. Approach your work with gratitude and recognize that nothing is permanent. Make this a daily practice. Take a few minutes to visualize something going wrong, losing money, losing status, losing a relationship, or losing your health. Then ask yourself, if this really happened, what would I do? How would I get through it? The more you practice, the more you will see that nothing is truly unbearable. You will become more adaptable, more resilient, and less shaken by life's uncertainties. Instead of panicking when adversity strikes, you will remain composed, because in your mind, you have already faced it, and you are prepared. Beyond strengthening resilience, negative visualization also deepens our gratitude. When you imagine a day without your loved ones, you will cherish your time with them more. When you consider the possibility of losing your health, you will take better care of your body, eat well, and exercise regularly. When you envision life without the things you currently have, you will stop taking them for granted and learn to appreciate them fully. Life is full of uncertainties beyond our control, but if we prepare ourselves mentally, we will never be caught off guard. Negative visualization does not make you a pessimist. It makes you psychologically unshakable. When you are ready for the worst, fear loses its grip on you. And when you no longer live in fear, you are truly free. 6. Living fully in the present. We spend most of our lives trapped in two worlds that do not exist, the past and the future. We dwell on what has happened, our mistakes, missed opportunities, and words we wish we had never spoken. We worry about what has yet to come, our careers, finances, health, and countless uncertainties. Meanwhile, the present, the only moment we truly own, slips away, unnoticed and unappreciated. This is one of humanity's greatest tragedies. We rarely live in the now, constantly pulled between regrets of the past and anxieties about the future. Stoicism reminds us that peace is not found in some distant place, but right here, right now. If only we learn to embrace the present moment. Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic emperor and philosopher, wrote, "Confine yourself to the present." The meaning of this is simple yet profound. The past is gone and cannot be changed. The future has not yet arrived and it cannot be controlled. Only the present moment truly belongs to you. If you fail to appreciate it, you will forever chase illusions of time, never feeling fulfilled or at peace. When you drink a cup of tea, truly taste it, instead of thinking about your to-do list. When speaking with a friend, truly listen instead of letting your mind drift elsewhere. When walking, feel each step touch the ground, rather than letting invisible worries cloud this fleeting moment. But how do we actually live in the present? One of the most effective methods is practicing mindfulness, fully immersing yourself in what is happening around you. When you feel anxious or overwhelmed, try the 5-4-3-2-1 exercise. Pause and notice 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch, 3 sounds you can hear, 2 scents you can smell, and 1 taste you can perceive. This simple practice anchors your mind in the present, pulling it away from endless thoughts of the past or future. Another technique is conscious breathing. Whenever you feel distracted, focus on your breath. Inhale deeply, hold for a moment, then exhale slowly. Even a few seconds of this practice can bring instant calm and clarity. Another key Stoic principle is letting go of the illusion of controlling the future. We can plan, we can prepare, but no one truly knows what will happen. If you are worried about the future, ask yourself, does this worry help me in any way? If not, release it. The future will unfold as it will. And the best thing you can do is live fully in the present to prepare for it. Living fully in the present also means deeply appreciating what you already have. When enjoying a meal, pause for a moment to truly taste it instead of rushing through it. When sitting under the sun, feel its warmth instead of thinking about all the tasks ahead. When spending time with family, be fully present rather than scrolling through meaningless updates on your phone. These seemingly small moments are what make up life itself. If you fail to cherish them now, one day you will look back and realize you missed everything. The modern world pulls us further away from reality. We are consumed by a fast-paced life, by technology, by invisible worries. But the truth is, all of these things are temporary. The only thing we ever truly have is this moment, right now. If you truly understand this, you will no longer be weighed down by needless anxieties. Instead, you will begin to experience life as it is. You will feel more at peace, more resilient, and more fulfilled. Not because life is perfect, but because you have learned how to truly live. 7. Let go of expectations. Focus on actions. We often set high expectations for ourselves and the world around us. We expect things to go our way, expect others to treat us as we believe they should, and expect our efforts to always yield the results we desire. But when reality fails to meet those expectations, we find ourselves disappointed, frustrated, or even angry. And so life becomes a cycle of hope and disappointment, constantly pulling us into anxiety and stress. Stoicism teaches us an essential lesson: let go of expectations and focus on action, because happiness does not come from having everything go according to plan, but from mastering ourselves, regardless of the outcome. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic philosophers, said, "Do your best with what is within your control and accept the rest as it comes." This means that we should not measure our success or happiness based on factors beyond our control. If your goal is to get a promotion, the only thing you can do is work hard, improve your skills, and perform at your best. But whether you actually get promoted depends on many other variables: the market, your boss's decision, competition from colleagues. If you focus only on the end result, you will constantly feel anxious and pressured. But if you focus on the processes, on becoming the best version of yourself, you will find peace even when the outcome is uncertain. Think of an athlete training for an important competition. If he obsesses over winning, he will be consumed by anxiety and fear of failure. But if he focuses on his daily training, the precision of each movement, the discipline of each practice, the strength built with each workout, he will no longer be burdened by pressure, but will instead find fulfillment in his growth. The paradox is that when you let go of expectations, you often achieve better results, because you are no longer paralyzed by fear or discouraged by setbacks, but fully immersed in giving your best. Letting go of expectations does not mean abandoning goals or effort. On the contrary, it means you still hold yourself to high standards, but you do not tie your happiness to the outcome. You no longer say, "I must achieve this to be satisfied," but instead, "I will give my best effort and accept whatever happens." The difference is that instead of placing your fulfillment in a distant, uncertain future, you find contentment in the present, in the very act of fasting. Try applying this principle to your daily life. When you take on a task, focus on the process rather than the result. When you exercise, appreciate how your body grows stronger each day, instead of fixating on a number on the scale. When learning a new skill, measure progress step by step, rather than expecting instant mastery. When you help someone, do it for the sake of the act itself, not for recognition or reciprocity. When you focus on what you can control, your actions, your attitude, your effort, you will feel freer, less stressed, and most importantly, no longer dependent on things beyond your influence. Life will never be perfect. There will be times when you fail, despite your best efforts. There will be moments when you go unrecognized even when you deserve it. There will be instances when people you trust let you down. But if you understand that the only thing you truly own is your actions, you will no longer allow these disappointments to shake you. You will keep moving forward, keep striving, and keep improving, because that is within your power. And when you learn to let go of expectations, you will not only find peace, but also unlock the door to true freedom. Looking back on my own life, I realized that most of the stress, disappointment, and suffering I have experienced stemmed from placing too many expectations on things beyond my control. I used to worry when work didn't go as planned, feel frustrated when a relationship didn't turn out the way I had hoped, and get angry when treated unfairly. But as I grew older, I began to understand that trying to control what isn't mine to control only leads to self-inflicted suffering. When I started applying Stoic philosophy to my life, everything changed. I learned to focus on what I could control: my actions, my attitude, my thoughts, and let go of everything else. That shift allowed me to find peace amid life's uncertainties. If there is a funniest lesson I hope everyone truly understands, it is this: you don't need to control everything to find peace. You don't need a perfect life to be happy. All you need to do is focus on what belongs to you: your thoughts, your actions, your responses, and release everything else. When you do this, you will realize that nothing in this world has the power to take away your inner peace. Take action today. Choose one of these 7 techniques and start practicing it right now. Not tomorrow, not next week, but this very moment. If you found these ideas helpful and want to continue strengthening your willpower, mental resilience, and self-discipline, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on valuable content. Share this video with anyone searching for peace and control in their life. And if you want to dive deeper into the wisdom of Stoicism, check out the other videos on this channel that I have carefully prepared. Remember, you can't control everything, but you can always control yourself. See you in the next video.